Hey folks, I'm Ryan from ORS Snowshoes Direct here in beautiful Vermont. We're talking about our snowshoes today, and we're breaking them down into different categories. We start with the beginner category. The next step up is the recreational trail adventure category. We're going to do a really quick overview of the models that we have in this category. If you want a more specific or a more in-depth look at each shoe, you can check out the individual video for the individual shoe. Now this snowshoer is looking to go a little bit further than the recreational user who would stick to flat terrain, mostly packed snow, such as golf courses and park trails. So now we want to go a little bit further. We might come across some hills, we might be doing some uneven terrain, the snow might be a little bit deeper. So what we need in this category, we need snowshoes that have a little bit more traction. We want a binding that has a little bit more support to sort of keep your foot centered on that snowshoe, and the materials are also going to be a little bit more durable. So this is the next step, the recreation trail adventure category. So let's quickly go through the models here. And with each model, we have men's and women's. So really it's just one model instead of really two here, but women's and men's. We'll start with the Tubbs Venture. In this category, we have two models from Tubbs. You have the Venture and the Frontier. So the Venture is nice snowshoe, good traction, good binding. Simply pull on the strap. Heel strap adjusts there, and then the Frontier. The Frontier is kind of the first step away from the beginner category. Not a lot of support in the binding, pretty moderate traction, good materials obviously, but the Frontier the Venture you'll notice has definitely bigger crampons, so you're going to get better grip on the hills, you're not going to slip as much. So you can kind of start with the Frontier, but if you think you want to maybe get a little further out there, check out the Venture. A little bit more support in the binding as well. Moving on to the TSL, we have the Take the High Road snowshoe. As you can see, pretty decent traction, certainly more than you'll find in the beginner category, again, for better grip on the hills. The binding is pretty simple. This is kind of a ratcheting heel strap here, and the toe strap will tighten down as well. Both of these use what's called the rotating toe cord. Tubbs, pick your foot up, the tail of the snowshoe stays on the ground, the snow will fall off the tail, and it'll continue to kind of swing away, so it's a fully rotational toe cord. TSL uses a rotating toe cord, but they actually have a stopping point built in. So if you pick your foot up, snow is going to shed off the tail, but the snowshoe is eventually going to hit a stopping point and not swing completely away. So part of it will always sort of be underneath your foot. Next is the Atlas. We have the 9 series here and the 10 series, men's and women's in both. Starting with the 9, as you can see, not a ton of traction, but more than you'll find on their basic 8 series model. A little bit further against the idea, a little better grip on the hills. The binding is a really simple to use binding. You put your foot in, you pull on this loop and it'll tighten down. Atlas likes to use what they call their spring-loaded binding, or spring-loaded toe cord. The binding is suspended and attached to these bands here. It gives you great side-to-side articulation so you can find a real natural step. It does allow the shoes, as you can see, to drop somewhat, so snow will shed, but it doesn't swing as far away, certainly as the Tubbs or the TSL. They like this because the snowshoe is always going to be underneath your foot. When you go to take steps, it's going to come with you to kind of get over a log or a rock. Backstepping might be a little bit easier, but it can tend to flip snow. So if you have a problem with snow getting tossed under your sort of legs, the back of your legs, then you might want to consider a rotating toe cord. That's the 9 series. Here's the 9 series Electra for women. Moving up to the 10 series, you can see the difference in the crampons. You get more traction here. So if you're thinking you want to go steeper, maybe deeper, this would certainly be the one to consider. The binding gets a lot nicer as well. Now we're getting a padded binding. Still pretty simple to use, but as you can see, certainly a more significant, more support in that binding. And as always, they're spring-loaded toe cord system as well. So again, the 9 series, moving on up to the 10 series, and there's the Electra. And then the last snowshoe is the Denali Classic from MSR. Pretty unique looking snowshoe. It's basically a plastic deck with steel traction on the bottom as well as these plastic traction bars. You really get great traction with this snowshoe. A pretty simple binding. Rotating toe cord, but it does have a stopping point. These bindings are designed to be packed flat. So if you want to, say, use these to climb and then take them off the top to snowboard down, this is a great snowshoe to consider because they pack up nice and flat. They'll fit into your pack. But a great sort of recreational snowshoe as well. So there they are. Once again, you can look for our videos on each snowshoe for a more in-depth look. This is the recreational trail venture category, and we are ORS Snowshoes Direct. Thank you.